My family pressured me to hand over my entire life savings for my brother's failing startup. When it collapsed, they blamed me and cut me off. "You're financially irresponsible," Dad yelled. They had no idea that money was only seed funding from my secret billionaire partner. And our real company was about to. This is it. I'm staring at my laptop screen, my gut churning with a terrible mix of dread and resignation. I'm about to make the single stupidest mistake of my life, and the worst part? Every fiber of my being is screaming, don't do it. My name is Roslyn, and it's 11:47 p.m. My cursor hovers over the transfer button. $50,000. $50,000 I'm about to hand over to my brother Casey for his revolutionary startup. Everyone, especially my parents, keeps telling me he needs it. Just hours ago at dinner, my mom leaned across the table, her pearl bracelet gleaming. A gift from Casey last Christmas. Me? I got a scented candle. "Think about the family's future, Roslyn," she'd said, squeezing my hand. Casey was at the head of the table, tablet in hand, doing his whole song and dance about pornit.net. Instagram meets LinkedIn, but for pets. Isn't that just regular Instagram? I mumbled, pushing food around my plate. People already post their pets there. My dad's voice, sharp with that familiar disappointment, cut through the air. "Roslyn, your brother has worked hard on this business plan. The least you could do is show some support." Casey flashed his signature winning smile, the one that got him out of every scrape since kindergarten. "It's not just photos, sis. We're talking pet playdates, breed-specific networking, automated treat delivery systems." "With what infrastructure?" I asked deadpan. Mom clicked her tongue. "Always so negative, sweetheart. This is exactly why you're still stuck in that tiny apartment, while Casey's out there taking risks and building something." I bit my tongue so hard I almost tasted blood. They had no idea about Sullivan, about our plans, about the real company we've been quietly building for the past 3 years. Casey pulled up a chair next to me, his voice dropping conspiratorially. "Look, I've got other investors lined up, big names, but they want to see family backing first. It's just smart business." Dad leaned forward, his eyes intense. "Your mother and I have already pledged what we can. This is your chance, Roslyn, to be part of something bigger than yourself. To finally contribute." Contribute. The word stung, a perfectly aimed dart. 28 years of being the invisible child, and now I had the chance to matter. My phone buzzed. A text from Sullivan. Asterisk, "Don't do it. You know he'll burn through it in weeks." Asterisk, I slipped it back into my pocket. "How much did you say you needed again?" I asked, my voice flat. Casey's eyes lit up, dollar signs practically flashing. $50K. But you'll get it back, triple minimum. My friend Heidi's done all the projections. The same Heidi who got sued by her last 3 business partners? I shot back. "God, why are you being such a bitch about this?" Casey snapped, his facade crumbling. "If you don't want to help, just say so." Mom gasped. Dad's fork clattered against his plate. "I'm sorry," Casey backpedaled immediately, turning on the practiced vulnerability. "I'm just under a lot of pressure here. This is my shot, sis. Please." I looked around the table. At Mom's pleading eyes. At Dad's stern disappointment. At Casey's perfected act. A lifetime of memories crashed over me. Casey's graduations where my achievements went unmentioned. Family photos where I was told to stand in the back. Christmas mornings where his pile of presents dwarfed mine. "Fine," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "I'll transfer it tonight." The celebration that followed made me sick to my stomach. Mom cried happy tears. Dad actually hugged me. Casey promised this would change everything. Now, sitting in my dark apartment, I'm about to press that button. My phone buzzes again. Sullivan. Asterisk, last warning. This isn't even your money to risk. It's seed funding for Skyrop. We've worked too hard. Asterisk, my fingers tremble over the keyboard. He's right. This is wrong on every level. But then I hear Dad's words again. Finally contribute. I hit transfer. The confirmation screen blinks at me cheerfully, as if I haven't just betrayed 3 years of work with Sullivan. As if I haven't just handed my brother a loaded gun pointed directly at my future. My phone buzzes one final time. Sullivan again. "You did it, didn't you?" I stare at the message for a long moment, then delete our entire conversation history. In the morning I'll have to face him. Have to explain why I gave away our initial seed money to my brother's doomed venture. But right now I just sit in the dark, watching my bank balance drop by $50,000, and wonder how someone so supposedly smart could do something so incredibly stupid. The worst part isn't the money. It's not even betraying Sullivan's trust. It's knowing that somehow when this all goes wrong, and it will go wrong, they'll find a way to make it my fault. I closed my laptop, pressing my forehead against the cool surface. Happy now, Mom and Dad? I whispered to my empty apartment. I finally contributed. 3 months. That's how long it took for $50,000 to vanish into my brother's revolutionary pet social network. I should have known the second he stopped answering my texts about financial reports. Now, I'm sitting in my parents' living room again. But this time there's no celebratory dinner. Just silence. An accusation. She pushed me into rushing the launch, Casey whines, pacing behind the couch where our parents sit like a jury. I told her we needed more time for market research, but she kept demanding updates. I almost laughed. Almost. I sent you 3 texts in 3 months asking for basic accounting. I countered, my voice steadier than I felt. See? Casey throws his hands up. A picture of exasperated genius. Always with the numbers. You suffocated the creative process with your constant pressure. Mom dabs at her eyes with a tissue, a performance she'd perfected over the years. Rosalind, how could you do this to your brother? Do this to him? He burned through $50,000 in 90 days. My voice rose. No product, no users, nothing. Dad stood up, towering over me like I was 10 years old again. Your brother had a vision, but you couldn't help micromanaging, could you? Always having to prove you're the smart one. Where did the money go, Casey? I demanded, turning to face him. Show me the expenses. Casey's face went green. Heidi handled most of the... Heidi. I pulled out my phone. The same Heidi who posted Instagram stories from Bali last month, on what was supposed to be our launch week? Business development. Casey shouted. We were meeting investors at a 5-star resort. Enough. Dad's voice boomed through the room, making me flinch. This ends now. Your brother took a risk, which is more than you've ever done. He had the courage to try something big. And you sabotaged him with your constant negativity. I stood up slowly, every muscle tense. I gave him $50,000. My entire savings. The lie tasted bitter, but I couldn't tell them about Sullivan. Not now. And look how you gave it, Mom chimed in, suddenly finding her voice. With conditions. With judgment. Money doesn't come with strings attached in this family, Rosalind. Unless it's from me, apparently, I muttered. Casey slumped onto the couch, head in his hands, his voice muffled. I trusted you to believe in me, but you wanted me to fail, didn't you? To prove you were right all along. That's not. Get out. Dad pointed to the door, his face a mask of fury. Until you can take responsibility for what you've done to this family, you're not welcome here. I looked at Mom, but she turned away, shoulders shaking with theatrical sobs. Casey wouldn't meet my eyes. Responsibility. I said quietly, the word loaded with contempt. Fine. Let's talk about responsibility. Let's talk about how Casey spent $15,000 on team-building exercises in Vegas, or how Heidi's business development trip cost more than most people's yearly rent. It's all public record. I pulled the bank statements. You had no right. Casey jumped up, his face contorted in anger. That was confidential company information. Dad grabbed my arm, his grip surprisingly strong. I said, get out. You've done enough damage. I wrenched away from him. You know what? You're right. I have done enough. I'm done being the family ATM. Done being the scapegoat. Done with all of it. Typical Rosalind, Mom sniffed, wiping her eyes. Making everything about yourself. Your poor brother's dreams are ruined, and all you can think about is money. I walked to the door, then turned back one last time. Casey, tell them about the $20,000 you transferred to your personal account. Tell them about the lease on the new BMW. Tell them anything true for once in your life. He didn't. Of course he didn't. Outside, the summer air felt thick and heavy. My cousin Charlotte ran up to me as I reached my car, her face a mix of sympathy and fury. I heard everything, she whispered, hugging me tight. They're wrong. This isn't your fault. I hugged her back, then pulled away. Thanks, Charlie, but I need to go. At home, I opened my laptop. One folder sat on the desktop. Project Skyrop. Inside were 3 years of research, prototypes, and plans. Sullivan's face appeared on my screen, a video call. I heard, he said simply, his gaze steady. Your brother's startup officially filed for bankruptcy this morning. Sullivan, He held up a hand. Save it. What's done is done. The question is, are you ready to stop playing their games and build something real? I looked at my phone, already flooded with angry messages from family members. Casey had probably told them his version of events by now. In their eyes, I was the villain of this story. Fine. If they want a villain, I'll give them one. I'm ready, I told Sullivan. a fierce determination hardening in my chest. Let's build something they can't ignore. He nodded once, then ended the call. I started typing, my fingers flying across the keyboard. They thought I was financially irresponsible? Just wait until they saw what I could do with real money and real purpose. This time I wasn't asking for permission. I wasn't seeking approval. I was building my revenge, one line of code at a time. 5 years ago, I met Sullivan Warner at a hackathon in San Francisco. I was debugging code at 3 a.m., surrounded by empty Red Bull cans and half-eaten pizza, when he stopped at my workstation. Neural interface for accessibility. He peered at my screen. Ambitious. I didn't look up. Someone has to be. He pulled up a chair. Show me. That night changed everything. Now, watching Sullivan pace our small but state-of-the-art lab, I remember why I trusted him from the start. He doesn't just talk, he builds. The prototype's ready, I told him, adjusting the sleek headset on our test subject, Maria. She'd been paralyzed from the neck down for 12 years. Maria, you remember the visualization exercise we practiced? She nodded, eyes bright with anticipation. Think about moving my hand but focus on the cursor. Sullivan stood behind her wheelchair, watching the monitor. The room held its breath as Maria concentrated. Slowly and possibly, the cursor began to move across the screen. Then with growing confidence she started typing, using nothing but her thoughts. Holy! Our lead engineer whispered. Maria started crying. I haven't written anything in 12 years. I squeezed her shoulder. Want to try sending a text? 20 minutes later, Maria had sent messages to her kids, ordered groceries online, and changed her Facebook status. All through Skyrop's neural interface. When we finished, she grabbed my hand, her grip surprisingly strong. You've given me my independence back, she said, tears streaming down her face. How soon can others have this? Soon, Sullivan answered before I could. But first we need backing, Rosalind. It's time to show Phoebe what we've built. Phoebe Marshall arrived exactly on time, her Tesla pulling up to our unmarked building at 2 p.m. She was a legend in venture capital, known for funding the next big thing before anyone else saw it coming. This better be worth the drive, she said, following us into the lab. I'm missing my daughter's soccer game for this. Maria, I said, looking at our beta tester. Would you show Miss Marshall what you can do? For the next 30 minutes, Maria demonstrated Skyrop's capabilities. Shopping, emails, social media, even basic game controls. All through thought alone. Phoebe's professional detachment cracked. The interface response time is incredible, she murmured. How did you solve the signal delay issue? That would be Rosalind's breakthrough, Sullivan said, a proud gleam in his eye. She developed a new type of neural pattern recognition algorithm. The same Rosalind who's been working as your research assistant for 5 years? Phoebe raised an eyebrow at Sullivan, a knowing smirk playing on her lips. I'm starting to see why you've been so secretive about this project. I met her gaze. We needed time to get it right. No shortcuts. Unlike your brother's venture, she said casually. Poornet, was it? Quite the spectacular failure. My stomach tightened. You know about that? I make it my business to know everything about potential investments, she said, her smile not reaching her eyes, including family drama. She turned to Sullivan. Smart, keeping her real work hidden. Family money can be complicated. Are you interested in the technology or not? I asked sharply, cutting through the pleasantries. Phoebe smiled. 20 million for 12%. Sullivan shook his head. That values us at less than 200 million. After what you've seen. 30 million. 15%. Final offer. She pulled out her phone. I can wire the first 10 million tonight. I looked at Maria, still happily browsing the internet with her thoughts. Make it 40 million, same equity, but we need guarantees about keeping the technology accessible to people who need it most. Done. Phoebe extended her hand. Welcome to the big leagues, Rosalind. Try not to let your family know just yet. Something tells me they wouldn't understand. After she left, Sullivan poured us both a drink. You know what this means, right? We're 3 weeks from soft launch. After that, everyone knows. I finished, my heart hammering with a mixture of excitement and trepidation, including my family. Are you ready for that? I thought about Casey's BMW, bought with my stolen money, about Mom's tears and Dad's accusations, about being called irresponsible while my brother partied in Vegas with investors' cash. They wanted me to contribute something meaningful, I said, raising my glass. Well, hear it. Comes. Sullivan clinked his glass against mine. 2 meaningful contributions. From her workstation, Maria called out, Hey, can I tweet about this yet? Not yet, I told her, but I was smiling. But soon. Very soon. My phone buzzed. A message from Charlotte. Asterisk family dinner tonight. They're all talking about how you betrayed Casey. Wish they knew the truth. Asterisk I typed back. Asterisk they will. Just not today. Asterisk looking around our lab, at the technology we'd built in secret while my family thought I was failing, I felt something shift inside me. The quiet, reliable daughter they ignored was gone. In her place stood someone they wouldn't see coming until it was too late. Sullivan caught my expression. Remember, he said, a playful glint in his eye. Revenge is best served with an IPO. I laughed, but we both knew he was only half joking. In 3 weeks, my family wouldn't just hear about my success. They'd choke on it. The email from my mother arrived at 3 a.m. Subject line. Family reputation. I shouldn't have read it, but I did. Asterisk your brother's bankruptcy has become public knowledge. The country club is buzzing with gossip. How could you let this happen to our family? Your father can barely show his face at work. If you had just been more supportive, giving Casey the time he needed. Asterisk I closed the laptop harder than necessary. My phone lit up. Charlotte, sending screenshots from our family's group chat. The one I'd been removed from. Asterisk Casey starting fresh. Sometimes you have to fall to rise stronger. Hashtag resilience, hashtag entrepreneur life, asterisk mom. So proud of my brave boy. Asterisk dad. That's my son. Always getting back up. Asterisk attached was a photo of Casey at some rooftop bar, champagne in hand, tagged at the Ritz-Carlton. Below it, comments from family friends. Asterisk sorry about your sister's sabotage. Some people just don't understand business. Asterisk Charlotte's message followed. Asterisk this is insane. You gave him $50K and he's partying at the Ritz. Asterisk I started typing a response but stopped when another notification popped up. A memory from Facebook. 8 years ago, my college graduation. I'm in the background of a family photo, barely visible behind Casey, who's throwing up peace signs despite having dropped out 2 years earlier. Your brother's finding himself, Mom had said when he quit school. That takes courage. When I made Dean's List? Asterisk don't get too proud, sweetheart. Nobody likes a show-off. Asterisk my phone rang. It was Sullivan. Stop reading whatever you're reading, he said without preamble. The prototype testing went perfectly today. Focus on that. They're saying I destroyed the family reputation, I said, a bitter laugh escaping me. Good. Let them. In 3 weeks, they can update their definition of family reputation to include having a billionaire tech founder they disowned. I laughed despite myself. Billionaire might be stretching it. Phoebe called. 2 more major VCs want in. We're oversubscribed for the Series A. A notification slid in. Asterisk moms posted old photos of Casey's high school graduation. Our family's true success story. Reads the caption. Asterisk Roslyn. Sullivan's voice sharpened. Are you listening? Sorry. Just watching my mother's latest social media campaign. Remember when you won that national coding competition in high school? Yeah. They forgot to come to the ceremony. Casey had a football game. And now you're about to launch technology that will change millions of lives, he paused. While your brother posts poolside selfies with borrowed money. My doorbell rang. It was Charlotte, holding 2 bottles of wine and looking furious. I'll call you back, I told Sullivan. Charlotte burst in. Have you seen what they're posting? It's like they're living in an alternate reality. She pulled up Instagram. Casey had posted another photo, this time with an inspirational quote about rising from adversity. The comments were full of our relatives calling him brave, resilient. Look at this one. Charlotte scrolled to a post from my mother. It was a throwback photo of Casey winning most likely to succeed in high school. The caption read, some people try to hold our children back out of jealousy, but true talent always shines through. They've completely erased you, Charlotte said softly, her voice full of pity. Like you never existed. I took a long drink of wine. Remember my 10th birthday? When Casey crashed my party with his football team and Mom turned it into a celebration instead, because he'd made second string. Charlotte poured more wine. God, they were always like this, weren't they? We just couldn't see it clearly back then. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. It was Heidi, Casey's ex-business partner. Asterisk your brother's telling everyone you forced him to rush the launch. Just for your information. Also, he still owes me $30K. Asterisk I blocked the number. Charlotte grabbed my laptop. We should say something. Post the bank statements. Show everyone what really happened. No, I said, taking the laptop back. Let them post their photos. Let them rewrite history. You, Charlotte stared at me. That's why you're so calm about all this. Let's just say Casey isn't the only one who knows how to rise from adversity. Later, after Charlotte left, I opened my work laptop. The Skyrop interface glowed back at me. Our latest test results showing unprecedented success rates. Tomorrow we start trials at 3 major hospitals. My phone lit up one last time. Dad had posted now. An old photo of him teaching Casey to ride a bike. Asterisk: a father's greatest joy is watching his child succeed. No matter how many times they fall, you never lose faith. Asterisk: I closed all my social media apps and opened my project files instead. They want to talk about success, about rising from adversity, about faith and family legacy? Fine. In 3 weeks, I'll give them something to post about. The hospital boardroom fell silent as Maria typed on the screen, using nothing but her thoughts. 20 of the country's top neurologists watched, their coffee cups frozen halfway to their mouths. Any questions? I asked, standing beside her wheelchair, a professional mask firmly in place. Dr. Roberts, head of neurology, cleared his throat. The response time: it's impossible. There's virtually no delay between thought and action. Not impossible, I corrected him, a small, knowing smile on my lips. Just unprecedented. Who did you say you work for again? Another doctor leaned forward. I'm a product representative for Skyrop Technologies. The lie came easily now. Sullivan and I agreed. Until the launch, I'm nobody. Just another tech worker showing off a prototype. Maria smiled. Whatever they're paying you, it's not enough. This technology gave me my life back. A young journalist raised his hand. Santiago Fleming from Tech Insider. We didn't invite press, but he'd somehow talked his way in. How long has this been in development? I'm not authorized to discuss company details, I said smoothly, but I can show you more features. For the next hour, Maria demonstrated how she could control smart home devices, write emails, and even play simple games. The doctors whispered among themselves. Santiago took furious notes. After the demonstration, he cornered me in the hallway. You're not just a product rep. Excuse me. I kept my smile in place. Your answers are too technical. You understand the underlying architecture too well. He pulled out his phone. And I can't find any record of Skyrop Technologies before 6 months ago. I maintained my practiced smile. I'm afraid I can't help you. With that. Come on. He grinned, a spark of mischief in his eyes. Give me something. This tech could change everything. People deserve to know the story behind it. They will, I replied. Soon. Back at the lab, Sullivan was waiting with Phoebe. They were both grinning. The hospital trials exceeded every benchmark, Sullivan said, his voice buzzing with excitement. All 3 locations are demanding immediate contracts. Phoebe handed me a tablet. And the valuation just hit $387 million. Pre-IPO talks start next week. My phone buzzed. Charlotte's texting, you need to see this. She sent a link to Casey's LinkedIn post. Asterisk: excited to announce my new venture capital consultancy. Failure taught me valuable lessons about due diligence and family trust. #blessed, #hustle, #new beginnings. Asterisk: your brother's got nerve, Sullivan remarked, reading over my shoulder. Using his spectacular failure as a selling point. He's always been good at failing upward, I muttered, my lips twisting in a wry smile. Phoebe cleared her throat. Speaking of family, are you ready for next week? Once we announce, everything changes. I'm ready. I handed her back the tablet. But I want to be the one who does the reveal interview. Risky, Sullivan warned, his gaze flicking to me. Your family. My family thinks I'm a failure who destroyed their precious reputation, I said, a cool resolve settling over me. Let them keep thinking that for 6 more days. Santiago called 3 times that evening. I let it go to voicemail. He's getting closer, I could tell from his messages. Asterisk: there's no record of you working in tech before this. Your background is fascinating. Why hide your involvement? Asterisk: Charlotte visited later, bringing takeout and questions. Something's happening, isn't it? You're different lately. Calmer. Like you know something everyone else doesn't. I poured us both wine. How's the family group chat? Toxic. Casey's playing the Phoenix Rising from Ashes card. Mom's calling him her resilient entrepreneur. Dad's talking about writing a book about supporting children through business failures. And what are they saying about me? She winced. Nothing. It's like you never existed. Perfect, I smiled. Let them enjoy their narrative. Rose, you're scaring me a little. My phone rang again. Santiago. This time I answered. Fine. Coffee tomorrow. Off the record. Charlotte raised her eyebrows as I hung up. Who was that? Someone who's about to help me write a new story. I clinked my glass against hers. One where the invisible daughter isn't so invisible anymore. Later that night, I got an email from Maria. Use Skyrop to video chat with my kids today. First time in 12 years I could press the call button myself. Thank you isn't enough. I forwarded it to Sullivan with one line. This is why we built it. He replied immediately. No, you built it because you saw something everyone else missed. Just like your family missed what was right in front of them. My laptop pinged. A news alert about Casey. He's speaking at a small business conference about overcoming setbacks. The photo shows him on stage, my parents beaming in the front row. Enjoy the spotlight, big brother. I whispered to my empty apartment. You've got 6 more days. The Skyrop interface glowed on my desk, ready for tomorrow's final trial. Soon everyone will know what I've built while they were busy erasing me. Soon they'll understand what real success looks like. But first, I have coffee with a journalist who's about to help me change the narrative forever. Santiago ordered a black coffee and got straight to the point. You're the founder of Skyrop, aren't you? What makes you say that? I stirred my latte, keeping my expression neutral. He pulled out his laptop. Because I did some digging. 3 years of stealth development. Revolutionary neural interface technology. And at the center of it all, a mysterious team that nobody can identify. He looked up, his eyes shining with triumph. Except I found your thesis from grad school. The underlying theory for Skyrop's core technology. It's all there. I said nothing. But here's where it gets interesting. He continued, leaning forward. 6 months ago, your brother's startup imploded. Your family blamed you for its failure. They've been practically crucifying you on social media. But the whole time you were building something that actually works. Something that matters. I finished for him, a slow smile spreading across my face. His eyes lit up. Give me the exclusive. The full story. I glanced at my phone. A text from Sullivan, it's time. Okay, I told Santiago. But we do this my way. The article dropped exactly 1 week later. The headline screamed, The Invisible Founder. How Rosalind Harris built a billion-dollar tech empire while her family erased her. Santiago didn't hold back. He detailed everything, the years of secret development, the successful trials, the revolutionary technology. But he also dug into the family drama, Casey's failed startup, my investment in it, their public smear campaign against me. My phone exploded within minutes. First Charlotte. Holy shit. I knew it. Then Heidi, Casey's ex-partner. Should have partnered with you instead, Sullivan called. It's going viral. Tech Twitter is on fire. Your brother's trending, but not in a good way. I'm about to reply when my father's name appears on my screen. For the first time in 6 months he's calling me. Don't answer, Sullivan warns. I answer. What have you done? Dad's voice shook with rage. Your brother's speaking engagement just got cancelled. Your mother's crying. Our phones are exploding with reporters. Funny. I cut him off, a cold satisfaction settling in my chest. Now you know how it feels to have your reputation destroyed by family. This is different. We're your parents. Who disowned me? Who blamed me for Casey's failure? Who erased me from family photos? My voice was calm, almost eerily so. We need to meet face to face now. I checked my email. Speaking requests, interview offers, investment proposals flooding in. Sorry, Dad. I'm a bit busy running my $400 million company. You know, the one I built while you were celebrating Casey's resilience. He switched tactics. Sweetheart, we didn't know. If you just told us. Like you would have believed me? Like you believed me about Casey's spending. My mother's voice joined in. I was on speaker. We're still your family. You can't just. Actually, I can. I checked the markets. Skyrop just announced our IPO date. I hung up. Santiago called. Your story just got picked up by every major tech outlet. Twitter's calling it the revenge story of the year. Charlotte sent another text. Mom's having a meltdown in the family group chat. Casey's gone silent. Dad's threatening to fix this. I forwarded the messages to Sullivan, who replied, worth it. Before I can answer, a new email arrives from Casey. Subject line, please sis. I know I messed up, but this is destroying us. Mom can't stop crying. Dad's law firm partners are asking questions. My consulting clients are pulling out. Can't we talk about this like family? I started typing. Family? You mean like when you blamed me for your failure? Like when you partied at the Ritz with my money? Like when you let them erase me? Delete. Instead, I sent him a single link to Maria's public testimonial about how Skyrop changed her life. Below it, I wrote, "This is what real contribution looks like." My phone rang again. "Santiago, you're trending #1, he said, a note of awe in his voice. "People are calling you the stealth genius who built an empire while your family tried to destroy you. Your brother's motivational speaking website just went offline." "Good. But here's the thing." He hesitated. "Some are saying you planned this. That you let your family hang themselves with their own social media posts while you built your revenge in secret." "Did you?" I thought about Casey's champagne photos, Mom's cruel posts, Dad's speeches about family legacy. "The truth," I told him. "They wrote this story themselves. I just provided the ending." As if on cue, my father's name flashed on my phone again. This time I let it ring. Sullivan messaged, * press conference tomorrow. Ready to show them what you've really built. * I looked at my laptop where Maria's testimonial played on repeat, where thousands of comments poured in from people whose lives our technology could change. "Ready," I replied. Time to rewrite the family legacy. The family dinner table looked exactly the same, but everything else had changed. Mom's perfect makeup couldn't hide her puffy eyes. Dad's hands shook slightly as he gripped his fork. Casey stared at his plate, uncharacteristically silent. "Well," Dad finally said, breaking the suffocating silence. "You wanted this meeting. Talk." I took a slow sip of water, enjoying the moment. "Actually, you demanded this meeting. I'm just here out of curiosity." "Curiosity?" Mom's voice rose, cracking. "Our family is being torn apart and you're treating it like some experiment. Funny how family matters to you now." I set down my glass with a soft click. "Where was this concern when you were erasing me from photos? When you were calling me financially irresponsible?" Casey looked up, his eyes pleading. "I tried to apologize by email after my company's valuation hit the news." I pulled out my phone. "Want to see the exact message? Right after your speaking engagement got canceled." "That's not fair." Mom interjected. "Your brother's trying to make things right. Like he tried to make things right with the $50,000 he stole? Borrowed." Casey corrected, his voice desperate. "Weekly for Vegas trips? For a BMW? For Heidi's luxury vacation?" Dad slammed his hand on the table, the cutlery rattling. "Enough. We're here to fix this. To be a family again." "Fix what exactly?" I leaned forward, my gaze sweeping across their anxious faces. "Your reputation? Your social standing? Casey's consulting business." Charlotte, who'd been quietly recording everything on her phone, spoke up. "Maybe start with an actual apology for, the months of public shaming?" "We were hurt," Mom said, her lower lip trembling. "We thought you betrayed your brother's trust. So you destroyed mine." I stood up, my chair scraping against the floor. "You know what the difference is between Casey's startup and mine? His was built on hype and other people's money. Mine was built on years of work you never bothered to notice. If you just told us," Dad started, "would you have believed me? Or would you have told Casey immediately? Let him try to take credit somehow?" Casey flinched. "That's not. Remember my coding competition in high school? The one you skipped for his football game? I won first place nationally. It could have paid for college, but you didn't even ask." Mom started crying, full-blown theatrical sobs now. "We're trying to understand." "No, you're trying to control the narrative again. But this time it's not working, is it?" Dad switched tactics. "What do you want? Money? Recognition? We can have a proper family celebration for your success." I laughed, a harsh, humorless sound. "Now you want to celebrate? After Santiago's article forced you to acknowledge me." "The article was a hit piece." Casey burst out, finally finding his voice. "You humiliated us." "The article was the truth," I said, meeting his gaze squarely. "Every word. Including the bank statements showing where my money went." Charlotte's phone caught everything. Mom's mascara running. Dad's grinning face. Casey's desperate attempts to backpedal. "What do you want from us?" Mom whispered, utterly defeated. "Nothing." I picked up my bag, the weight of it surprisingly light. "That's the beauty of it. I don't need your approval anymore. I don't need your recognition. I built something that's helping people while you were busy protecting Casey's ego." "Please," Dad stood up, his voice cracking. "We can fix this as a family. We'll make a public statement. Show our support." Too late. The IPO announcement goes live tomorrow. Skyrop will be valued at over $1 billion, and not one of you can claim any part of that success. Casey made one last pathetic attempt. "Sis, please. My reputation is exactly what you earned," I said, heading for the door just like mine. Charlotte followed me out, still recording. That was intense. Send me the video. Why? I smiled. Planning more revenge? No, I corrected her, shaking my head. That was the last piece I needed. For what? For showing the world exactly who they are. One last time. My phone buzzed. Sullivan. Asterisk, you're trending again. Someone leaked footage of your brother partying in Vegas with your investment money. Asterisk, I looked at Charlotte, who grinned. Oops. The next morning, every tech blog carried the story. The video of last night's dinner went viral. My parents' attempts at manipulation, Casey's fake remorse. All of it exposed. Santiago called. Your family's trying to do damage control. Your brother just posted a lengthy apology on LinkedIn. Too little, too late. Way too late. Your story is being called the tech revenge saga of the decade. I hung up as another call came in. Dad again. This time his voice was different. Broken. The partners are asking me to take early retirement, he said, his voice a strained whisper. Your mother's garden club uninvited her. Casey's lost every client. Karma's interesting, isn't it? We're your family. He tried one last time, a desperate plea. No, I replied, my voice steady, devoid of emotion. You're the people who taught me exactly what not to be. I ended the call and opened my laptop to finish my IPO announcement speech. Tomorrow, I'll tell the world about Skyrop's mission to help people like Maria, about technology that actually matters. And my family, they can watch from the audience just like I did all those years. Silent. Invisible. Finally understanding what it feels like. The view from my office shows the city skyline, dominated by Skyrop's new headquarters. Below, a crowd gathers for the building's opening ceremony. Somewhere in that crowd, my family watches, uninvited but unable to stay away. Ready? Sullivan asks from the doorway, a calm presence. I adjust my blazer. Almost. Your brother's trying to get past security again. Says he has a business proposal. Of course he does. I check my phone. Another missed call from Mom. A text from Dad about family healing. Charlotte bursts in. You need to see this. Casey's posting live from outside. Her phone shows his Instagram story. Him in front of our building grinning. Asterisk, so proud of my sister's success. Family is everything. Hashtag proud brother, hashtag famtech, hashtag family unite, asterisk. Unbelievable. Charlotte mutters. No, I correct her, a slight smile touching my lips. Predictable. Maria wheels into my office, using Skyrop's latest interface to navigate her chair. The auditorium's full. Every major tech publication is. Here. I take one last look at my phone. Casey still posting, trying to rewrite history again. Mom's joined in, sharing old photos she must have dug up, captioning them with "always knew she was special." Dad's professional network is suddenly full of posts about supporting innovative daughters. They never learn, do they? Sullivan observes, a wry twist to his mouth. They can't. I reply, the truth settling deep within me. Because they still think this is about them. The auditorium falls silent as I take the stage. In the front row, Maria sits with other beta testers. People whose lives Skyrop has already changed. Behind them, investors and journalists lean forward, hungry for the next chapter. Everyone expects me to talk about revenge today. I begin, my voice calm and clear, carrying across the vast room. About how I built this company while my family tried to erase me. That story's already been told. Movement at the back catches my eye. Casey trying to slip in. Security stops him. Their body's a silent, impenetrable barrier. Instead, I continue, my gaze sweeping the room. I want to talk about Maria. About James, Sarah, and Michael. About the millions of people who've lost their independence through injury or illness. Because while my family was busy posting about resilience, these people were showing me what real strength looks like. I gesture to Maria, who raises her hand, controlled by Skyrop's interface. The audience gasps. This technology wasn't built on revenge. I state, my voice resonating with conviction. It was built on something my family never understood. The difference between taking credit and creating value. Santiago in the press section types furiously. My phone buzzes with notifications as my words go viral in real time. So yes, I let them think I failed. I let them write their posts and give their speeches. Because while they were busy managing their image, we were here building something real. Maria demonstrates the interface, drawing applause. Other beta testers join in, showing how Skyrop has transformed their lives. Success isn't about proving people wrong. I conclude, my voice strong, triumphant. It's about proving yourself right. And sometimes the people who try to erase you just end up erasing themselves. After the presentation, Charlotte shows me social media. Casey's gone quiet. Mom's deleted her recent posts. Dad's LinkedIn has been deactivated. They finally got the message, she says. No, Sullivan interjects, a hint of something like satisfaction in his eyes. They finally lost control of it. Maria approaches, smiling, her face radiant. Ready for the hospital announcements? I nod. We're launching in 50 major medical centers next month. Thousands of patients waiting. Miss Harris. A young woman stops me, her eyes wide with admiration. I'm a computer science student. Your story. It inspired me to keep going when my own family didn't believe in me. I think of my younger self, staying up late coding while my family celebrated Casey's latest non-achievement. Build something that matters, I tell her, my voice gentle. The rest is just noise. Sullivan hands me a tablet. Stock price soaring. Pre-orders flooding in. Want to check the family group chat? No need. I look out at the city, at the Skyrop logo glowing against the darkening sky. Their story isn't mine anymore. Charlotte hugs me tight. Was it worth it? All of it. I watch Maria demonstrating Skyrop to a group of doctors, her face glowing with independence and possibility. Look around. I say, a profound peace settling over me. This isn't about revenge anymore. It's about legacy. The real kind. My phone buzzes one last time. Casey again. Asterisk, please sis, just one meeting. For family's sake. Asterisk, I delete the message without responding. Outside my window, the city lights twinkle. Each one representing someone whose life we might change. Someone whose story matters more than family drama and social media posts. Sullivan clears his throat. The next presentation starts in 10 minutes. Ready to focus on what's real. I pocket my phone, leaving the past where it belongs. Always was. The audience waits below. But they're not here for family drama or revenge. They're here for innovation. For change. For actual value created. That's a story worth telling. That's a legacy worth building. And this time no one can erase it.